What advice would you give up to somebody who is a CEO or who is a leader, but at the same time struggling to manage all of the expectations, the challenges, the unpredictability of the market, as well as everything else, right? Being a father, being a human being, other priorities. What would be your advice?
I think in my experience, or whenever I experienced pressure, it was always pressure that I invented myself. So I think as a first, we should be less demanding for ourselves, maybe. But that's very personal, so I'm not sure that it goes for everybody. That is an experience I have. And then again, if we think about it, we can't control the things that we face. The war that we're facing now, and energy prices, and all of those things, COVID, the pandemic, all of those things were out of our hands. We shouldn't worry too much about that. We should worry, however, about what we are doing. And so it's about consistently doing what's right. Not for you as a person, but for the company as a whole, for the company, for the employees, for the stakeholders. And if we consistently do that, and if we have the discipline to work and to put in the effort that is necessary, if we work with the right people, if we build a team that shares the values that we find important, and if we have the discipline to deliver quality day in and day out, that's basically it. We need to consistently do that, and then in my experience, results will follow. But it might seem quite simple if I say it like this, but in business sometimes needs to be simple. We need to, especially as a CEO, you need to simplify what we're trying to achieve. If it's very complex in my head, how will I be able to inspire the people that need to get the job done? So that's something that might be an advice, but I want to give a more practical advice as well. Something that I would do is two things, an advice to any CEO listening to us now. First one, values are basically the value of your company. It is in the values that you preach and that you put into work, and so you have to describe them. It's not just about putting positivism on the wall and responsibility and all of those things that we agree are very important, but we need to make them much more explicit. We need to write them down in detail. That's the first. Whenever we have done that work on the values, we need to use them inside of our companies. You need to use values when you hire people. You need to use values when you promote them inside of your company. The people that are being promoted have to be the people that really read those values day in and day out. Those people need to take more place inside of the company, not just the top performers, but the top performers that are living by your values. That's the first part. Second advice that I would like to give is you need to make a evolution inside of your company very tangible. People need to know what you expect from you. So you need to have levels inside of your company, because people want to evolve. They want to have that feeling of self-development. So we need to have levels, and in those levels, we need to talk about the competences, we need to talk about the values, and we need to talk about desired behavior. The behavior you want to see in the company needs to be part of the evolution program you have for your employees. So those are two tips that I want to share.
Thank you, Thomas. I think those are very practical, but also what you said earlier, right? Sometimes keeping it simple, or to make it simple from a complex web of business and leadership advice, is what helps you deal with pressure, but also makes it easier for everybody in the organization as well. And the second thing which I learned, or which I really I'm taking away, is that values are not just about something to put up on a poster. Like, the best way to see values is like, are people living them? Are people making their day-to-day decisions without oversight? Do you have that behaviors mapped out so that people feel that they are part of a culture, they feel that they are making progress, they're growing, and there is not a lot left to assumption. So thank you for adding that.